conclusion. The grand finals will take
Welcome to Jakarta, Indonesia, home of the 2026 PUBG Mobile Global Open Season 1 main event.
32 teams were merged from millions of competitors around the globe. But the real test, it begins now.
That's right. Today, Group A takes the stage, where they're going to have 6 matches to prove where they belong. The top teams will advance straight to the grand finals. The bottom 2, their journey ends today. The squads in between, they're going to be left to face the gauntlet of the survival stage.
Every point matters, every chicken dinner counts, because the margin between glory and elimination, it's razor thin.
That's right. Before we break down the format, the teams, and everything you need to know, let me show you where all this is happening.
Right behind us, the iconic GVK complex, the absolute sports heart of Jakarta. This is where champions are born.
And today, inside Tennis Indoor Senayan, a brand new global legacy is about to be written.
But now, let's get the action started.
It's Group A.
It's day 1.
And today, the journey to greatness begins
Right now.
Welcome to day 1 of the PUBG Mobile Global Open Season 1 main event. Introducing teams from Group A. Starting us off, representing EECA, Goats Team.
Talking, moving militant. I'm the big homie, but they dealing with the kid again. Now I'm winning at ease with the soldiers. Never did it for myself, I did it for the culture. I had to come up with a plan for you vultures. Got the upper hand to where I rock, I need a sculpture. Way y'all, you know what it is. I hold it sick, though. They ain't see that we could be great. I bet they.
Hailing from France, Boss Gaming.
Ever, you should say the best for last, okay? We here to stay, me and the squad all day. They here to stay, and we don't never go away. We here to stay, I got them saying okay. They here to stay.
I'ma stay right where I'm at. Tell me what's better than that. What's better than that? I'ma stay right where I'm at. Tell me what's better than that.
Yo.
Yeah. Let's go. You know I'm about to lock it. All the monsters they was looking for just like a lock. This seven, they gon' knock me off the phone, they better stop it. They can never. Yeah. Gotta aim for the top like. Hold up. You could be a friend of me, an enemy. Keep that same old energy, cause I know I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. I'm in my element. Ooh, yeah. Keep that same energy. I'm in my element. Never switch up. Never switch up. Never switch up. Keep that same energy. Never switch up. I'm in my element. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets. Cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex.
Finally, your 2025 PMGC champions from Brazil, Alpha 7 Esports.
Ain't on the game, we got not more than the minimum.
I ain't got a bread when I'm in my bag, no, no, no. No time to compete with so-and-so. No time to compete with so-and-so. I ain't got a bread when I'm in my bag, no, no, no. Been through a lot, don't know the half, no, no, no. When I'm on drive, never lose control. Hand on the game, never lose control. It ain't my fault that I'm in control. When I'm on drive, never lose control.
live in Jakarta, Indonesia for the 2026 PUBG Mobile Global Open Season 1. I'm your host, Hot Jukes, and these two gents right next to me need no introduction, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It is Maxman and the 7WG boys. How are you feeling today?
Oh, excited! It's PMGO time once again. Really hyped to be back in Jakarta. It's been, what, 4 years now? I mean, PMGO is brutal for this season. We'll look at the format a little bit later on, but I can tell you things are going to get spicy here for some of these teams, but so many big names have qualified here in Jakarta for this tournament, and this is only the first half. We're going to have PMGO Season 2 later on, so man, I can't wait. This season, this year, is looking insane when it comes to PUBG Mobile Esport.
Every year, it just keeps going up and up and up. The skill level, the amazing gameplay that we've been able to see here, not that level 1. We're talking about that level 10 gameplay from some of their squads, and honestly, I can't wait to see what it's going to be bringing this year, because we already saw some people pop off in some of those early tournaments too, qualifying to PMGO Season 1.
That's right. Well, we said it earlier, right? Today is Group A, the group of doom here, Maxman. I mean, this is absolutely a stacked squad.
Yeah, I mean, Group A is looking insane. Of course, we'll look at some of the names that are going to be on that group, but come on, out of every single region, we have so many region champions here in this tournament. 5 regional MVPs here also for this group happening today. So, man, this is going to get real hectic in these 6 matches.
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at the format in a bit. I don't want to spoil anything, so we'll wait for it.
Let's go. Let's take a look right here, right now. You can see it, guys, right? We got right now Group A, the top 6 teams are going to be going straight to those finals here, Max.
Yeah, of course, finals, that's where you want to be at the end of today's 6 matches. But of course, the bottom 2 do get fully eliminated. So normally you're like, oh, group stage, it's chill, you're making it to the next stage. No, if you underperform significantly, 7, you're fully out, but the middle teams will go straight into that survival stage.
And if you think this group stages are cutthroat, wait until we actually see what's going to happen at the survival stage, because it's not going to be the top 6. It's actually going to be the top 4 that are going to be moving over to the grand finals, and then we'll have our sweet 16 teams on those grand finals June 6th and June 7th, Jukes.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. I'll tell you one thing, boys. I do not want to be in that survival stage. That's for sure, right? I mean, this is going to be so crucial for the squad. And one thing, Max, I know that you want to mention something.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the finals, you might have realized that's 2 days only.
That's right.
That's a bit short, isn't it? And also, we've got the Smash ruling in play.
Yes, so we could actually end up seeing just only 8 matches.
Only 8 matches is crazy. And you know what? We got some serious cheddar on the line here. $500,000 here. Just a few days of work here.
Some players are going to be making it rain, not only with those 500K, but also my favorite point of all time that I always have to mention, that 1 point per elimination, because it is going to be 6 matches. It is going to be so compact, and we have seen through the years how much that 1 point per elimination comes into play, either teams getting disqualified by just 1 point or going to a tiebreaker too.
I've seen so many regional tournaments where even if you remove the placement points of a team, they're still in number 1. Like, literally, off of eliminations alone, they could become your champion. Keep in mind, it's not about PMGO Season 1. Also, if you do well in this tournament, chances are you will be qualifying later on for PMWC. So there's not just money on the line, also a spot in one of the biggest tournaments of the year.
How much money?
$3 million.
Baby, well, hey, you know what? You got to be able to make it through this. And these are our participating teams. We got some serious squads here, Max.
I mean, I'm especially happy for South Asia. Hora is here. Train to Kill are here. Finally, we do have Nepal back in the globe. We had no Nepali teams in PMGC 2025. They took a while, but remember back in PMWC 7 last year, Hora did pretty well for themselves. Maybe they can bring that heat back at PMGO.
No cursing this time, no choking this time. It's time for them to show us what they got. And not only that, I'm happy to see some of the other teams there from Southeast Asia. And the one that I'm looking at is none other than Team Flash, because this is going to be their 2nd global event. And I'm hoping that confidence is going to shine.
And they're going to wait for the airdrop to come down to save them again.
No. All right, it was a lucky one. It's not going to happen again.
I mean, during the qualifying stage, Team Flash did great, right? It was just, you know what? It takes a little time to get warmed up, get things going here. And you can just see also we got some squads from the other side of the globe, Max.
I mean, looking at Turkey in particular, you got 5 teams, which of course some big names, but Ulf 2nd place, right? Going back in PMGC of last year. They were so close, yet so far, losing out barely to Alpha 7. And now with also Kelsey on the team, I'm telling you, Ulf, they're going to be hungry for that trophy, for that championship title here on the global stage. So Ulf going to be a big contender for the entirety of PMGO Season 1.
Talking about another Turkish team, S2G, no longer having to do a hashtag invite S2G on social media. They were actually able to qualify based on their skill, and I'm hoping that that skill is going to showcase here in PMGO Season 1.
They're in the same group as Alpha 7, and we know there's a little bit of drama over on Instagram, but keep in mind also, HamCG on that team has won in S2G in that PMGC, so who knows, maybe he's going to have that area advantage here in Indonesia.
Dude, I'll tell you what, there's been tons of drama online here. I love it. This has been so intense coming up to this year's first major event, and you can see the different time zones, and also, again, 7, look at that, the group stage, just 2 days. Group A today, Group B tomorrow.
Cutthroat, honestly. That's what it comes down. Just absolute cutthroat. You're only going to be able to play 6 matches. I can't wait to see how some of these teams are going to get started, because this situation, as if for everybody currently watching at home, we'll be able to get a chance to see it earlier, the matches that we're going to be playing, but every map counts. You cannot sleep on any match. If you do have a bad match, you got to be able to bounce back. You cannot go onto a downtrend with only 6 matches to play.
Yeah, and you can see here, this is that Group A, guys, right? You can just see the different names. So much work that has to be done right here. One team, though, we got to talk about. And Max, I'm going to ask you about this, right? We are in Indonesia, right?
Yeah.
Team Panda, right? Had a breakout this year.
And one, right? Indonesia able to win the last game on Rondo, and we know Rondo is going to be very important in the format of PMGO Season 1, but everyone on the team is looking insanely good, able to qualify in the last game just over McJoe, and even then, going into PMGO SEA, they didn't have to perform well because they were already in, and yet they still made in top 5, so this is a team that's a lot of momentum and looking strong here.
Hey, well, speaking of strong teams, right? 7, I know you want this one here. Alpha 7 is here, and they got a big goal they are hunting.
2026 might be the year that we might establish the greatest team so far in PUBG Mobile Esports. We're talking about a PMWC champion. We're talking about a 2025 PMGC champion. And they're able to get that Grand Slam, Max. Honestly, the best team of all time.
I mean, PMGO, if they make it happen here, I think the GOAT status could be in the cards for the likes of Alpha 7. I feel like you in particular will be happy to call them that, I think.
Yes, 100%. I'll get to Brazil.
Yeah, but of course, looking at the other teams, you have S2G here. We already talked about it, right? This organization has won in the past here during PMGC in Indonesia, Jakarta. Different roster, right? Except for HamCG. Are we going to see them try and reclaim that past glory? Because they failed to qualify to a lot of global events as of recently. So that's a team that we know has a lot of expectations. They need to perform.
And we were talking about Team Flash earlier. I mean, you can see the top 16 PMGC. I know it looks bad, okay? But that team wasn't even supposed to be there because of that crate that you were talking about, Max. But they got that confidence. And so far, I want to see what Win, the standout player for this squad, is going to be able to do here in Group A.
It's actually very interesting because off the back of PMGC alone, they've got so many fans now. Like, this team came out of nowhere just last year, realistically, and now just dominating out of nowhere. So Flash looking like a potential contender for that #1 spot.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to do it here quick, guys. These are today's matches. Normally, we're just like, yeah, it's okay. This is what we normally play. But I'll tell you what, this is it, right? So one Rondo will be played, and that could be make or break for so many of these teams here, 7.
It is the make or break for a lot of teams, especially for teams that like to start hot and stay in that momentum. They need to be able to get those eliminations. Now, I don't want to see a team end up camping and not now, because that's just not gonna work, especially on just 6 matches on one day. I need to see at least minimum 5 eliminations and try to get into a top 5, and I definitely have some teams in my head.
Hey, Hotrix, he said the C word. He said camping. You can't say that.
That's right.
That's illegal.
That's illegal.
We used to camp before. Oh, that's
exactly. Well, you know what? Rondo is so incredibly important here, guys, because, I mean, one good solid Rondo match could just lock you in the stage. And one team in particular I know that you were really impressed with when it comes to Rondo is Aura, right?
I mean, Aurora have been really onto that one. I mean, so many teams have been able to really hard focus their strategy on that one. But Aurora, they hot drop you in, and they have this really cool strategy. Top goes for the quick recall, and then they kind of alternate the entirety of that hot drop to just get as many players as possible in that city to get, of course, nations. But they're not the only one. There are just so many teams that on Rondo are looking so damn good.
I mean, some of those teams, 4 Thrives. We gotta talk about 4 Thrives a little bit, because this squad is usually a squad that ends up performing really well on the first Rondo of a tournament. They have won it in the past, and I'm hoping that that's gonna continue. And I'm intrigued because you and I were talking to them, Max, and they were still trying to figure out was the player that was gonna go to T24. Somebody ended up saying IQ. Let's see what actually ends up happening for that squad.
I think Falak also wants to be recalled.
Do not send Falak to the recall.
He's the
You're
South
gonna
Asian
send
MVP. Put him in the fight.
You're gonna send your best player to a recall. I'm actually gonna be livid if that happens.
Okay, but genuinely, we talk to so many players, coaches, analysts in the background. So many teams are so adamant this event to commit to the hot drop because you go for the 3-1 split. You lose 3 players, guess what? You got a second chance. You can still get a bunch of points on board. But if you do get a good rondo, that one map alone here, Hot Jukes, could be a one-way ticket straight into the finals.
Hey, speaking of, you're talking to some of these players and coaches, right? I know you got a chance to talk with Coach Knight before this got started. He kind of told you what he was kind of thinking about Rondo, right?
So they want a hot drop, but passively. It might sound a bit weird. So they want a hot drop from a distance around, right?
Which team, boys?
Hopefully none of the players are listening and getting the strats. But no, they want to actually third-party it from a distance and maybe send it when teams are at their weakest.
And for everybody that doesn't know where Knight coaches, where does Knight coach?
Furia.
There you go. And it is a super experienced coach. Now, some of the other squads that I actually want to keep an eye on, it's going to be GOAT. Because GOAT, even though they ended up getting that second place in ECA finals, this was actually one of their weakest performing maps. They ended up getting an average placement of 12th place in only 6 eliminations. And when you actually convert that into just points, ladies and gentlemen, it's just the elimination points. That means you end up with just 6 points. And that's just not going to cut it in the situation that we're currently here in PMGO Season 1.
They can do well on Rondo the day we have the hover. He loves the hovercraft. It's only on the rank when they're on right now. So maybe a future update.
But it looks like we are about to get started here for match number 1. It's Rondo, the only one we're playing today here, 7.
I'm excited. I want to see those plane paths. Are we going to be getting a double plane path?
Give me a double plane on top of Neo. But it is on Yulin and Test Track. It is reachable. Meaning Yulin, Neox is going to get real busy here.
And something we got to keep an eye on too for some of this draws is I wonder if anybody is going to be targeting those solo players. Because this is something that we saw happen last year. And I think, Max, if I'm not mistaken, you were talking about this too off the stream, off before we even started here. I think it's going to end up happening.
I think if you want to try and weaken a potential competitor for that top 6, it's maybe the best way to do it. Send 3-4 players on one solo. Unless it's Reefus, you might win.
Not only that, I mean, you might end up just getting a full squad elimination, and if you don't have to worry about the squad anymore because that's the last player of them trying to get that recall, it could end up working out massively in favor. Now, let's go look at some of the drops here that we're seeing. We're seeing Pandem there with the 3-1. Any jumps that are currently just popping out to you, Max?
As of right now, no, we're just seeing real hectic drops on Yulin. Best track, Neox Factory is going to be reached by I'll see Aurora right now. Where did Aurora go?
That's the question. You can see Alpha 7 now to themselves. It has begun to our casters, John Allen and Blake.
Thank you very much, guys. Over on the desk, we're already on board with Furia here, down on the south side near Yulin Gardens. These hot drops are popping off. We're ready for the action, Black.
We're ready. We're in it. Welcome to PMGO Season 1. We're here in Indonesia. It's going to be a fantastic little time here for us. Furia, like we just said, aggressively, passively, hot dropping, a different type of style that seems to be working out quite well at the start here at least.
Ooh, Ayala doesn't even need to be the one to pull the trigger. Another player from 721. Gonna get clipped down now. They're on 1 player alive, but remember, they can go for those recalls. They do have a player over towards Hangshan. They will be back in the fight. Furia wanting to stay alive as 4, trying to play it 3 on the spot here. And it looks like they're gonna survive in the center of this one with Aurora potentially around the corner.
Indeed. I mean, Aurora was able to pick up at least one of the eliminations there. They were able to get 2 on board. 1 player fairly low on HP. You've got Doc over towards the eastern side of this. He's playing in just underneath Neox Factory. He has himself a recall beacon there to work with, but it is Ida. Swain going down here. This is over on the other side of the map. This is far over towards the northeast. This is around Test Track Neox Factory.
Alola locking horns with Ida in Test Track. It looks fairly deserted actually over towards Test Track to what we may have expected here. Yulin is popping off, but even then, a lot of teams sending out to the 4 wins blank. It seems like maybe people have decided to take a little bit more of a reserved approach here. 4 Thrives, ooh, do take a knock on the forefront against Hora. as the regroups look to come on through, but I'm not expecting anyone to go down just yet. But there are so many opportunities to go for these recall beacons.
Falak taking the knock there and the flush, but we're happy to see him in the fight. A bit of a weird one here for Thrives, because this is a team that quite likes to drop over towards Neox Factory. They gave up on that. They've moved down towards that southwest side, towards Yulin. I think part of that is choosing that playing path. Not really ideal to go over towards Neox Factory, but it is funny. You only get 2 teams there, and I think it's exactly like you say, John. Teams are really taking today at face value in terms of it being incredibly difficult to mitigate that variance. So the way to do it here is you play a slow rondo. You try and get as many consistent points as possible. You ignore those teams getting all these points in the early game and hope you can make it towards that late game.
Someone is potentially going to earn a whole lot of points. Furia wanting to add one more to the tally with Joel going down. Aurora going to have to go for another recall there. Top, we saw him earlier beam down a player on the southwest side, and it looks like they're not really going to go for those rotates. They do have quite a decent position closer to the circle. Might look to try and recall up there. Boars in the meantime, blank a little bit further over towards Stadium, west of Neox Factory, are going to be back and forth with S2G. Now, Boars seem to be on the back foot. The nades pouring on in through the windows. They are answered, but nothing really finding its mark right now. Finally, some damage come through from a nade, but Vagnazada's on the back. Snowix playing it quiet on the ground floor. Might be able to catch a player unawares, and nearly Vagnazada goes down, but no, he just about stays alive on a sliver. Snowix still holding his nerve, waiting for a corner to turn. Not going to hop in just yet. Spots one as he darts through the window. I don't think that they saw him. Look for another. Through from the back. He needs to worry though, and now he'll be back into the plane almost immediately on the recall.
Yeah, it does go down now, unfortunately, but almost had the slip on that. Behind the scenes, alongside Vagnazada as well as Robs, you know, this team has really been trying to get things into contention. Terminus looks like a good player on the team, but I do think this guy needs to bring the levels up a little bit to closer towards Robs as well as the other boys on boards. But overall, a pretty good team. Pandem now up against the Flash, a similar situation they faced before here. Win on the front side, as well as Zeus sending some nades in over towards Leo.
Pandem with 3 players in location. Here to test track, just on the outskirts of it. Team Flash. Putting nades forwards. Furia getting lit up in the Elim feed in the meantime as well. Jubran holding the cross, doesn't quite spot the player. The smoke bloomed in time. The shotgun now around the corner, jousting back and forth, and Jubran able to win out that trade. And able to get away pretty healthy as well there. Nice and tight amongst it. Team Flash going to lose 1. Zeus is down, but they can definitely still get him back up. They just need to make their way to a recall tower. There's the hop forwards for Leon, trying to get some more extracted from Team Flash. If they can keep these points coming on through, they're looking to try and raise the bar on Rondo.
They are. I mean, Flash went down to a 3-man in their final match in their region, but was still able to put up a fantastic performance, getting themselves that #1 spot. So going down to a 3-man here, it doesn't feel like it's going to hurt them too much. They are up against Pandem at the moment, though, who are doing a good job to pen them in. Win looks to hit this challenge well, but won't quite find it. Luckily, Bozy is here as backup. We'll find one player in Leon's.
Hopping through the window now, a 1 versus 1, Jubran versus Bozy. Not too important to go for the res here. Will actually allow the flush. More important to be on the trigger, but he's not going to be able to find it. Pandem win out the fight with 3 players alive. They will again get Leon back up. They win out the trade. 3 elims on the tally for Pandem.
Tapping the shots off here as well. I'd say that's a little bit of vindication felt for them there after their last matchup against Flash in their region. But good stuff. Aurora. This is a team that a lot of players are very worried about, and a lot of fans at home are cheering for. They're a slow starter usually, but the 5 games they have so far, not a good indicator for that. It looks like they're coming off blocks looking very, very speedy.
Yeah, and over towards Yulin Gardens. They only have Horror to deal with now, but they might want to get a move on fairly soon with the circle moving up towards the north side. Clearing this one out is going to be great. They add a 6th point to that tally blank, and they are looking pretty fearsome. Reefus leading the charge with 3 elims already, doing a lot of work for the roster. And they'll be happy with that. Hora looking to get those recalls out. They've got an outpost over on the east side. But the recall towers are going to start to get occupied towards the center of the circular area. So you might have to go a little bit further afield to get your players back now.
I love the way that Aurora has developed over the years, where you've got the likes of Doc, Top, Zyol on that team, all players with huge name value. It was always Reefus. It felt like he was catching them up all the time. This guy is now full-blown MVP caliber. From his 4-man nade in the final match to hit the smash, to now looking extremely good on the main stage with 3 elims and finding himself 1 more there. It just looks phenomenal. 7 elims for Aurora Gaming. Oh, I think they're going to be just going straight for it today.
With a west shift on the circle, they do have access to the southwest portion of this zone that a lot of teams may not be able to get to quite fast. But Aurora have been fighting this whole time. They haven't been grabbing those vehicles. They are a lot less mobile now, and that is what they should be worried about. Teams are going to start to get in front of them.
Now, we haven't had much chance to actually talk about the circle, to talk about the rotations. That's understandable. It is Rondo. It's action-packed. But what we're looking at right now for Aurora, it's not a terrible rotation in for them on the western side. They can make their way up, swing through, they're right on the edge. Most teams are playing on the northeast here, which is a little bit strange considering that initial playing path. I think Aurora Gaming, though, they've kind of taken out a lot of their competition on the southwest side. Obviously, they'd like to see another south shift on this one if they want to get something good done, but I like this heavy rotate coming in from Boars. They are quick, they are fast to the mark, straight towards the center of the circle. On this western side, a little bit of terrain to play around with.
And they've got that, I think they're on control of a recall as well, so a nice position to stop teams, if not use it for themselves, to stop other teams from using it. A very important position to hold on that southwest point, potentially very profitable. Oh, the EMP zone's just popped up blank on the north.
Yeah, EMP zone's going to be a bit of an issue for some of our teams, especially on that northern side. It has limited rotations a little bit, makes it slightly more difficult to make that full send towards the center. Dissipated now, so teams can start to get themselves a little bit of a move on. Alpha 7 is marshalling that north side right now, though. Got E-Arena underneath them. E-Arena, definitely not a team to be scoffed at either. Looking fantastic at the moment. But in this game, 0 points. Nothing found just yet. But they are a full 4-man. They are towards the center of the circle. Hope they can start to pop off a little bit soon.
There's only one team with 2 players alive, and that is Team Flash, who are struggling to get a recall, it seems. On the north side near Stadium, so could potentially go in there. In the meantime, Alola and Furia. Ooh, what a turnaround there, quick. Able to do a lot of damage to Furia. This is over near the south point of Test Track as well. And the recall opportunities are a little more time for this point, but a nice nade from
2G. Ida also moving in. Our Turkish teams mainly, it seems, here are having a good time of it.
Chief for more, able to find one on the hop. Needs to get behind cover. That was risky going for the flash, but it comes off good. And now Chief with a second challenger. Might have to try and find something pretty deep on this one. Furia branching out all the way into the blue to try and make it work quick. Wants to shut him down on the inside, but Chief's not giving up without a fight. Won't go down without swinging once or twice, but will fall in the end. Not able to do the damage to get another knock there. And Alula claimed the south side of Test Track.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, that is a really, really hard fight to win as well. For Alula, that's what I would call an upset. But the boys over on Furia, it's kind of the successors to the Team Liquid squad, right? They have some extremely good players on that team, but not being able to win against Alula is a rough position to be in there. But they should be able to get themselves back up on their feet, back into action. They're down towards the south side, got themselves a bit of a recall towards Igor as well as Ayala.
Got to find a spot to go for it though, Blank, and that's not super easy right now. Team Flash are trying to send on through. They only have 2 players, and they are putting all of their eggs into this basket on the south side, trying to get through this roadblock. Maybe make their way out towards a recall, potentially, over towards Yulin, maybe? That's still technically open, but no, okay. They're committing to playing as 2.
Just play the shack here.
4 units already.
Yeah, it's the best thing you can do. I think, honestly, once you get to this stage of the game, you're sort of forced to play this sort of style, try and get as many points as possible, confirm yourself up towards that top 6, which will get you through from the groups. Look at the map feed, though. It's a strange part of the map. Honestly, you look over towards that western side, a lot of fielded areas around here, around Boars. For Boars, I think it's most important for them to clear this portion of the map. They will likely be looking over to 4 Thrives. Falak has just arrived on the scene towards their northwest. If they can clear him, their movement over towards the east becomes a little bit easier.
Alola now have to fight through Aurora with their outposts. A lovely shot from, actually, this comes through from Reefus. Okay, I thought it was top. It turns out it's Reefus. You were singing his praises earlier. He wants a little bit more of that sauce as he's going to layer it down on top of Alola. One more player on the inside there, trying to make their way through. 4 players are alive for Alola, and there's potential for them to still get a recall, but it's going to be really, really tough, as it will shut down an opportunity. The backline's being solidified as well by Doc for Aurora, playing that more adjusted supportive role.
It's a great position to play for Doc as well. He's playing elevation right now. He's gathering as much information as possible. They're mainly looking to control this southeast side. Once again, the circle moves away from them, up towards that north edge, towards Team Vicious. Now, Team Vicious actually has a surprisingly damn good squad. Got the likes of Narvala on one side, Koa, a lot of names you'd recognize from Western Europe, playing from a different region this time around. But this is a good squad. I like the way that they formed this team. It seems like they've got a lot of synergy on board as well from watching their regionals.
See if they can bring that to bear on the world stage. Alola still going for this fight. Yasa is down, but R38 wanting to find those angles a little bit faster. Aurora do have to leave this position blank, so it's not really a holdout at this point. 721 having a tough time against Go, as they are getting lit up. The nades, the volleys are just sailing on in, and there's S2G as well chiming in. Okay, yeah, Vicious are there to party too. It is a tough spot, and I don't really see 721 getting out of this.
Yeah, it's sort of like mini Hung Shan, honestly, over towards this side of the map. It's an area that can hold quite a lot of teams inside of it, but it's pretty sparse, pretty open, not too fun to play around with. So for teams getting over here, it's a bit of a mad send. 4 Thrives, though, they do manage to get a send on towards the north side of things. They're currently playing with 2 players, though, which is a tough thing. I think that for 4 Thrives, a bit of survival options right now. Having Falak up and alive, though, is useful. Those CQC grenades are going to come mighty handy for the squad right now.
Oh, you're definitely going to need them. Aurora on the send out. They're happy with their tally of 7. They're going to move away from the test track South Point and move over to a really important part of the map. They've just gone straight central and unchallenged.
Yeah, unchallenged indeed. A lot of scouting coming through from top, apparently. He saw the lines, he saw the vision, moved straight through. There was absolutely no clap back from any other squad. Retaliation nowhere to be seen. Aurora Gaming moves in. They've dropped a ton of emergency cover flares here. They're trying to light up the lobby in a big way. They've taken quite a bit of damage so far, down towards half HP at the moment, but they're looking to recover on this. Doc consistently having to move around the edges of the Doritos.
And these are the angles that you were talking about, being so surprised that weren't clapping. That's Panda and that's Alola on the north and on the east. Just doing nothing to slow them down. Really interesting approach to that one. Boars are going to crash into the compound in the meantime as S2G look to defend. A nice opener, 1-for-1 on the trade. Boars are happy to storm through the gates here, but they may lose that east side, and in he goes. Robs with the shotgun. Name a more fierce duo.
I remember we were talking before the event died, we were talking about the shotgun, saying he's the shotgun king, and he said, I'm going to deliver this tournament. And he certainly has already from the inside of the building. He's a terrifying player to come up against. If he's got an S12K, if he's got a pump shotgun, and if he's got the DBS, you are in trouble.
S2G, S2 going, S2 gone. They are the first team to drop here in a vital map. And they are not going to be too happy about that one. So we'll see if Ida can keep the banner running for Turkey.
It's kind of an interesting one as well. What a nade from SnowX over the top. It lights Horror up. They were not expecting that one. High ground control completely eliminated there. But for Boars, it's interesting because S2G, they had a run-in with them earlier. They must have known the general path they took. They were able to recuperate, restabilize, and get straight back into the mix. Good stuff from Boars.
And they get the points to prove it. And they're on the south side now with the circle shifting up north. Will have to make a dash for it. Fury are moving in on the west side. Could be a challenge into the center of the circle there as well. Might be dangerous to make these maneuvers. Horror trying to go toe-to-toe now with the Boars. Of course, those recalls are now completely unavailable. They have been shut down, so no more getting your players back up and onto their feet. Aurora still giving it large over onto Furia from the opposite side of those compounds. We see those maneuvers over towards the central area as Horror get to a bit of a standstill with Boars.
It was a good thing that we had no fear get himself up towards the top side of the building as quickly as he did, because they lost that aerial superiority. In the meantime, Irina up against the Flash, able to take them down, and Flash will fall with 4 points despite a decent start to their game here. That is not where you want to fall here on the Rondo. The first one of the day, this is where you can pick up a lot of those points, get yourself an early buffer.
I have to question the decision to not go for a recall that early for Team Flash going down to 2. I think they have the opportunity to do so. It is not going to work out for them this time around. I'm going to say the same thing about 4 Thrives as well. I think they were 2 fairly early on. They made a big push down towards the south, and they're not prioritizing the recall, which I find interesting here. We'll see if 4 Thrives can profit more off of this match as another team falls. That's Furia out as they try and make their position in the center tenable. It will not prove to be so. Alpha 7 with a challenge now, with Etch bearing down upon them. Looks like they're doing okay, but it is not without scrapes, cuts, and bruises all over.
Alpha 7, the big squad, the big boys in the lobby. Looking for the Grand Slam here at PMGO Season 1. It is an incredible roster, coming off from a high from last year. Now looking to set the pace here over on Rondo. They came in from that north side, so they were slightly isolated. They haven't been in too many fights. It's the first time we're seeing them on camera so far. They already find themselves in a spot of bother, though. We're back on side with Boars. Turney K steps up to the plate, has a nade in hand. Boars are running for their lives.
Ooh, they've sent up to this north side, leaving their position on the south. They're doing okay, though, Blank. They're doing okay. A big nade onto the back, and Schweppes falls as well. Damage is done to Vagnazada. It will bring him down, but Snowix charges forwards, moving in to envelop the Fury laid down upon them by Irina's regroup. A nade onto the back lines, and there may still be a res here. It's going to be enough for Snowix to bring it down, and there goes another for Irina. A beautiful hold for Boars, but the blue zone will not give them a break.
Yeah, I mean, Boars got to keep moving here. They just about get themselves in one vehicle. They're going to try and move out, try and create an anchor point for the rest of the squad. Great shot over towards Mormon. That was the big problem. He's down to very low HP, trying to get the first aid kit off, realizes he has no time, and Boars somehow, some way, get themselves into the circle.
Vagnazada, the sacrificial lamb there on the southwest side, but he will be the cost that they pay for a very solid position. Points now starting to rack up for Boars. They're on to 4. As Aurora, who did go down to 2 in that central location, a little bit leg swept on that one. Unfortunate, but Pandem able to step up to the north side. I mean, I said Pandem right there. It's going to be the big opportunity here to put massive points on the board. They're on the top of the tables when it comes to Elim's. Horror struggling to weather the storm. As forwards the Goats charge, it will be Horror falling down. There was an answer though, a knock over towards Goat team, but I don't think anyone's going to capitalize.
Yeah, a bit too much there for Horror to handle. But now the Vicious, like you say, look to get some nades over the top. It's a good time to try and stymie the approach here coming through from Goat. They're one of the direct competitors on that south side. But the Vicious, they can wait things out. The difficulty is that 4 Thrives on their front side, as is Aurora Gaming. These are 2 wildcard teams with 2 players each. Doc, though, gets a nade in the window. T24 is down. Now Falak might be receiving the same.
Ooh, the answer doesn't come through from 4 Thrives. Instead, from Pandem, who are making their north side pressure felt. A nice outpost coming through as they make sure that 4 Thrives have a little bit more to say into this game. And Doc going down is pretty nasty for Aurora, leaving them just on Reefus.
Yeah, trying to get over towards the bowl here is the best thing you can do. Try and step up, get a position for the Reefus to move up here. If Reefus can get to Doc, a res is possible. The sightlines within the bowl here are not great for a lot of teams, and you can kind of hide yourself away, but it's getting there that is the issue. Good shot there from Reefus over to one of the players on the Vicious. He might just make it through on the barest amount of life. Gets towards his buddy Doc and is looking to pick him up here. Revo finding shots over towards Darkin. It's an instant flush from his side. 600 damage on the game for Evo.
He's going to be able to find a little bit more on the north side. Plenty of fights stepping his way. Ida want to find a bite back over towards them. With Ida on the west side, Blank, they are in a solid spot to hold. They want to hold that ridgeline to their south because the Boars are going to try and push over fairly soon as well. And they're going to have to be worried about that too. Look at the Doritos littering the parking. Oh dear, no parking available for any cars, but Goats not going to be worried about that. Surging forwards, but a sideswipe comes through. A massive light up comes in. Everybody's chiming in, and the Goats get cut in half on their push.
Yeah, decimated there. Reefus even got involved. Just picked up Doc here. He will get instant re-knock. Bay goes down there to Reefus too. He is just not giving up this game. This man is on a thread right now, but refuses to finish his run. Dimsy though, Pandem, like you said, they had a good run in from this eastern side. Doc as well as finish off from back, but it's over on that side of the map. The amount of Doritos is oppressive on those sightlines. Luckily, they're going to be out the zone soon.
One more knock over towards Goats, and that's Pandem up to 11. Now they are really starting to gather momentum. So up he steps and down he goes. No way Goats were getting away from that one. Doc is still down in the middle of the bowl as Reefus tries to pick it back up. The Boars are trying to move on through now, trying to fight off against Vicious, doing a lot of damage, but not quite finding that final tick. There it is. The nail is going to land square into the edge of the coffin, but the Vicious are now flagging. Look at how low they all are.
I mean, good run from Boars, though. You got to respect it. I mean, they were fighting the entire time, but the circle comes down towards this. The Vicious were just able to hold on just that little bit longer. Ida's going to come in from that western side. Revo looking mighty strong over towards the northwest at the moment. 600 damage, and that is just counting up right now.
You just want to keep those tallies rolling. MVP, maybe, in his mind already. We'll see. Pandem on 13 on the north side. Oh, man, this is a real big breakout for them. And in a command seat of this circle.
It's just snaffling up points everywhere they can. They have been so present inside this lobby. We talk a lot about rondos, how you just cannot be passive, right? And I think that despite Pandem's position on this eastern edge, you would think to yourself, these guys aren't getting a lot of eliminations here. Suddenly, they're on 13 elims. They have been capitalizing on this endgame, and they just keep going.
More and more, but Forthrives managed to pick one back, I think, as they are picking up the points where they can. Forthrives finally do go down. Jubran looking to try and take the Vicious out of it entirely, and the Vicious will fall. That one, I think, yeah, that goes towards Ida. So, no extra point for Pandem, but there are still a couple more for them to earn. We'll see how far they can go, because right now, it is looking like the tide is undeniable.
Yeah, still, but Reefus, though, at least secures the team a minimum of 4 extra placement on this game. He has been looking very, very good this match. Real boon to the team. Ida makes the mad dash in. It's the best they can do here. Try and look for a dip created by the nades. Work off the back of that. Alpha 7, though, a little bit quieter on this northwest side. Clearing ahead, you can see Pandem, the 44% on the winner-winner chicken dinner percentage. I'd agree with it.
It's looking pretty good for them right now. Alpha 7 trying to move forwards. The potholes from these nades for Ida are giving them a significant amount of cover here. Alpha 7 may be giving them a helping hand with that bombardment, but in goes Reefus. Yeah, they know he's here. There's no way. There's no way he gets further forwards than this, right? Surely not.
Yeah, the cover flare, it just isn't in either. So he's going to have to push out this position. He's just hoping Dimsy peeks him, and then he can make a run across. That'll be a ramming eliminations, points on the match. It's not here.
Ida and Alpha 7 needing to solve the differences, or Panda will just run away with this one. Look at the high ground ridge that they've got against these two teams playing. It is a shooting gallery out there for them. They're looking to rack up a 20 chicken dinner on the first game of the day, potentially put themselves into the top 6 and stay there no matter what happens.
I mean, we all say you get a massive game on Rondo here during this initial group A. Right now for Alpha 7, there is hard cover to work around with. Whether it's in the circle or not is a very, very different idea. There's a good nade from Revo. Again, he's just revving it up this match, and he just keeps going. The nade comes back. It's off target. Never mind. It's towards Carrillo. Guizao looking to get the res off, but Pandem, they see their opportunity and they look to strike.
And they want to add those points, remember? Those points, if they go down now, go down towards Ida. And they do not want to let that happen. You want those points in your bank. Push yourself even further beyond. Guizao looking for those reses. The nades are bombarding back from Alpha 7. May be able to find him, but in come Pandem. The side swipe comes through. They are marshalling their forces. They are not going to let these points get away from them. Now Revo goes down, and Pandem slurp the whole milkshake. This is just everything going their way. They've got tons of util still left remaining. Pandem looking to secure it right now in the first game of the day here. There's nothing clapping back towards them. There's no retaliation, and it's over. Pandem with a massive game 1.
What a way to break it out. First day, first match. They are here to play on their